The cosplayers who became wanted criminals.
From a portly Punisher with a Comic Con murder plot.
The only punishment is that build, my boy. The only thing you punishing is some snacks. Let's calm it down, bro.
To a Redneck Raven cosplay.
She don't look that bad. This ain't no Raven. This is a Graven.
Player kidnapping a teen. To a Japanese Joker truly fed up.
What is you cosplaying a teen for? Yo, you do not have Raven's abilities. What is you doing?
To a Japanese Joker truly fed up with society. Today we'll be exploring the bizarre underbelly of the cosplaying community, discussing a handful of eccentric crimes committed by some of its more unhinged, costumed characters. Anime, gaming, and cosplaying conventions can be some pretty stinky
No, I will say, contrary to popular belief, if you go to anime convention, it's gonna be good. It just depends on which one it is. Now, I can't speak for the furry ones. I've never been there, but so long as, you know, you give a PSA notice 24 hours before the event to make sure you apply some Old Spice or some deodorant, you will have a good time.
The Power Ranger arson attack. Cosplaying at conventions is a time-honored tradition with millions.
Yo, shout out to women that cosplay. You guys are literally my favorite. Yo, the reason why cosplay is not cringe is solely because of women. Women have made cosplaying the greatest invention known to mankind.
Across the country regularly participating. Most of the time, it's just a fun hobby that allows otherwise unrelated people to meet up, offering a great opportunity to make new friends. On one occasion, however,
I will say the easiest place to talk to people are these anime conventions. A lot of people are actually social. If you want to make friends with them, go ahead. Like, a lot of them are easy to approach.
Was met with a nightmare situation after a crazed stalker who participated in the community took notice of her. The story begins in January of 2019, when the annual Anime Los Angeles convention was set to take place at the Ontario Convention Center. Anime enthusiasts attended the event with many—
Yo, shout out to the people that wrap their car like this. I can't though. If I have a car and I wrap my car around an anime character, I'm gonna assume the women around me are gonna think I'm a loser. I don't know why. Imagine like picking up your mom. Imagine picking up your dad. Imagine picking up the bros. They gonna look at this and they're gonna look at you and be like, wow, bro, are you serious? Are you this deep in?
Many showing up in elaborate outfits, cosplaying as their favorite characters. One such individual was Matthew Toyotome, also known as Ninja Lee. He was a part of a Power Rangers cosplay group and usually dressed up as the Yellow Power Ranger. Taking a look at his social media, I'm
gonna go ahead and say a lot of y'all gonna get mad for this take. I did not care for Power Rangers. Honestly, Power Rangers was cool, but that's about it. I don't see the craziest hype in it. But then I will also say I didn't really watch it. The Pink Ranger looks cool though.
Matthew was quite the peculiar figure. Aside from the Yellow Ranger stuff, he often posted photos of himself wielding replica firearms, LARPing as a covert secret agent of sorts, with him hiding behind trees and taking tactical positions behind walls.
Look, I have nothing wrong with cosplaying when you're going to the extent of wanting to be the character so much that you think real life is like the character you're trying to replicate. You're weird. You're too deep in, buddy.
And trash cans. Though odd, his behavior was innocuous. Matthew's true slide into criminality is born out of an unhealthy obsession. The man began developing feelings towards a woman in his cosplaying circle. Her name was Julia. Julia was a member of Matthew's Power Ranger group, and she dressed up as the Pink Ranger.
Could y'all imagine him flirting with that girl? Shorty, come on, like, you really gotta think about it though. It's canon for us to fall in love. I would leave you alone, but you know the Yellow Power Ranger falls in love with the pink one. Like, we gotta make this work. Let me find out that you were using Power Rangers references to flirt with her. Buddy, she don't want you.
Story goes that Matthew would eventually make his romantic feelings known to Julia, but she wasn't interested and politely rejected his advances. At this point, you would expect that he would simply accept his losses here and move on with his life like a normal person. But if he did, we wouldn't be talking about this guy.
Do not tell me he ended her. I swear to God. Do not tell me he was that butthurt that he went in and did something.
Would we? Matthew was furious about getting rejected. His anger simmered and boiled over into a full-on hatred towards the Pink Ranger that politely rejected his advances.
It never made sense to me when men will clown girls that don't want them. You're mad at Shorty because Shorty don't want you because you're chopped. First and foremost, initially you were showering her with love, you was glazing her, you was calling her pretty, but soon as she say, no thank you, oh boom, you're chopped. You ugly as shit, I ain't even want you. You for the streets anyway. Bro, there's no way you could be that salty. When I hear cases of men getting back at women that reject them, that is one of the most mind-blowing things.
The the deranged man started plotting his revenge, a plan that he would eventually execute during one of the night's festivities at Anime LA Con. On January 16th, Matthew strolled into the parking lot of the Azure Hotel and Suites, where Julia's vehicle was parked. In surveillance footage that was later publicly released online, you can see the man casually smoking a cigarette. Later in the clip, he walks over to her car and pours gasoline all over it before proceeding to set it on fire.
Hold on. We need to get a deep analysis of the camera because it could be P. Diddy, gang. I know P. Diddy did something like this to Kid Cudi. I don't know. Let's recheck this twice because this is looking all too familiar.
As Matthew quickly left the scene of the crime.
What type of get back is that? And the only thing she's guilty of is telling you no, bro. It's not like she called you chop or anything.
Flames engulfed the surrounding cars in the lot, causing massive amounts of property damage. This also resulted in the hotel's fire alarms being triggered. Authorities were called soon after, with hotel customers even being evacuated. Local news outlet ABC7 interviewed a hotel patron named Hank Lugan, who had this to say.
Like, one of the police officers was cutting through one of the cars. This is crazy. I think one of the people that we actually know, their cars are like completely melted.
While nobody had been physically injured, 7 different vehicles in total sustained some form of damage. Despite the fire, police were initially hesitant to classify it as an arson attack, though their opinion—
7 vehicles. Oh my goodness, bro. Can y'all imagine the insurance companies right now? It's GG's, bro. Whoever didn't have insurance on their car, you're cooked, bro. 7 vehicles? This is some real GTA shit right here.
Regarding this matter soon changed after being provided footage of the guy literally creating the fire by the hotel manager. When questioned, Julia and her at-the-time boyfriend quickly identified Matthew as the individual.
So you did this to her knowing she had a boyfriend. Were you salty because she rejected you, or were you salty because now she has a boyfriend and she don't even want you? Please don't tell me you made an advance on her while she was in a relationship as well. There's no way you're going down this side.
In the video, the man was soon arrested, being charged not just for the arson attempt, but for his obsessive stalking as well, being given and held—
Stalking is a crime?
On a whopping $250,000 bail. Julia would make an Instagram post detailing the ordeal, thanking everyone for their support and asking for contributions to her GoFundMe, which eventually raised over $15,000. Some of the other victims of the fire also asked for donations, with the entire cosplay community rallying together to try to give what they could. This guy was clearly a disturbed individual, and I'm thankful that his incel rage only resulted in property damage and that nobody was physically injured or worse.
Imagine if he did the crime in the yellow Power Ranger suit. I feel like that would be poetic.
Redneck Raven cosplayer gets prison. Teen Titans is a class—
I look, you kind of want to see her mugshot. I hope when we seeing all these cosplayers get locked up, I want to see their mugshot as well.
It's a superhero show in the minds of both casual and hardcore cartoon lovers. Adults and children alike found the characters layered and dynamic.
I'm gonna go ahead and say it, Teen Titans Go is amazing. And I'm tired of people that watched the initial Teen Titans hating on Teen Titans Go. Teen Titans Go was also amazing. I will say Teen Titans Go is probably one of the only shows that could adapt an older show and make them like look younger and still be a banger. Every other show that tried to do that gave us like smaller characters of them, you're cringe. Why are y'all doing that? No one asked for that.
Raven possibly being the best example within the show. Our next subject was a Raven cosplayer who not only fails to emulate Raven in just about every way imaginable, but this Titan ironically would help in the kidnapping of a teen. On November 4th, 2022, an unnamed teenage girl was abducted by a then 22-year-old man named Kobe Jerome Jordan.
That don't look like Beast Boy to me. If you want to cosplay Raven on your own free time, at least we got to be close to the source, all right? You got to be a canon event.
He had allegedly picked her up in his truck late at night, bringing her to the home of a woman named Molly Michelle Jarrett.
Why is her wig so damn below her forehead, bro? Come on, you hiding a cranium in there? What is you doing?
Who lived in the town of Pansy, Alabama. Another woman named Destiny Star Lewis was also present throughout this entire ordeal. According to the U.S. Attorney's Office, this kidnapped young girl had initially gone with the man willingly. To this day, it's unclear what the girl's relationship to these 3 adults were, and if it is known, it might be hidden for privacy purposes. However, it can be reasonably assumed that she was on decent terms with them beforehand, making what happened next all the more shocking. The girl was taken to an abandoned building in Jackson County, Florida.
What are y'all doing with that little loud girl, bro? Tread very lightly. And I want to know this. Why was she wearing a Raven cosplay? I highly doubt that there is a convention center in Alabama for anime nerds.
Mind that Pansy is close to the border between the two.
There's a place called Niceville. Now y'all see what I mean when I tell you we're running out of cities to name, so we're just coming up with ChatGPT generated ass names. Let someone tell me, oh, Solid, yeah, I'm from Niceville. I'm gonna think you're either trolling, or number two, I'm gonna think you're like too deep into like cartoons and you need help.
States, meaning that they hadn't actually traveled that far. This is where the pleasant.
Can y'all imagine someone say, hey, you better not come to Niceville. It's gonna go crazy. Whenever you come into Niceville, make sure you check in with me. Niceville is off limits for everyone. No one is gonna take you seriously, bro.
Between the two states, meaning that they hadn't actually traveled that far. This is where the pleasantries seemed to stop, with Kobe binding her limbs with duct tape and brutally beating her. The trio then dumped the teenager at a seemingly random spot nearby, driving back home to Alabama soon after. The young girl was fortunately able to break free of her bonds and got out and found help. A report had already been filed after she was spotted by a nearby resident, with the teen's testimony resulting in an investigation being launched. Given the fact that the victim knew exactly, who the perpetrators were and where they lived, it wasn't exactly difficult for police to track them down. While this story is pretty...
So let me get this straight. Y'all took a little girl to an abandoned place, beat the hell out of her, returned her back to where she was from, and you were expecting her not to say a single thing. Yo, bro, you are near an area called Niceville. No one is intimidating at all. And I'm not gonna take a girl that's dressed as Raven seriously.
Crazy on its own, it was photos taken after the perpetrators captured that garnered the most attention by the press. In a Facebook post published by Florida's Jackson County Sheriff's Office, photos of the deranged criminals were showcased. And in one of them, you can clearly see here that Molly is sporting a Raven cosplay. The costume being...
Like, why? Like, are you doing this on your free time? Are you trying to record a TikTok? Like, look at the background. You're not even in the city. Yo, this gotta be like one of the most like crazy contrasts I've ever seen.
Worn during the perpetration of the crime. To this day, it is somewhat unclear as to why she was wearing this Raven cosplay. If I had to take a guess, I'd say maybe them being from South Alabama had something to do with it. The juxtaposition of such a serious criminal offense being carried out by someone wearing a half-baked Raven costume caused many in the comments section to mock the individuals responsible, with the story becoming a full-blown meme of sorts. Bizarrely, Molly's photo was even featured in official news coverage of the situation, adding to its absurdity.
Two are behind bars tonight after being arrested for kidnapping a girl in Jackson County, Florida. Colby Jerome Jordan is accused of kidnapping a girl Friday evening. The two then met up with two other females, one of whom is Molly Michelle Jarrett.
Despite all the jokes being made at the criminal's expense, the authorities weren't laughing, at least publicly. In March of 2024, all three individuals responsible for the kidnapping were officially charged. While they had initially pled not guilty in 2023, it appeared that their tune had changed as the legal case proceeded. The fact that they had crossed state lines also didn't help their situation, with the incident being considered a federal crime. In the end, Kobe was given 7 years, Destiny was given almost 6, and Molly, the Redneck Raven, was given 11 with no chance of parole.
Even the judge was like, nah, with that nut-ass outfit she got caught with. Bro, even the court didn't like your cosplay, bro. Side note, if you ever get arrested, do not be cosplaying. Okay, yeah, the judge saw this fit once, and then it was enough.
They're currently serving out their sentences, hopefully never being able to cause harm to any more innocent teens again. For now, she'll be Azarath Metrion sitting her ass in prison.
Yo, this guy is good at puns, bro. He's very funny at puns.
Deaf superhero attacked by real-life villain. Ray Shorn Pitt, or Ray for short, was a local phenomena in Florida. As a deaf person, Ray has sadly had fewer opportunities in life, often struggling to find positive ways to channel his energy. He was adopted by his father, a man named Rusty Pitt, and his wife, Angie, all the way back in 2000.
Wait, so he was adopted? He really might be Superman, bro.
2004, and growing up was a battle. Ray struggled with a lack of social skills and often lagged behind as a result. To top it all off, his adoptive father unfortunately passed away when Ray was a teenager,
R.I.P.
making his life even more difficult.
R.I.P.
Though a publication known as the Daily Commercial reported that things began to look up for Ray after a kind-hearted U.S. military veteran befriended him and gifted him a Superman costume. Ray was a big fan of superheroes and kung fu movies, and this costume allowed him a way to become his larger-than-life role models in a way and channel his creative energies. At 20 years old, Ray, donning his gifted Superman costume, began standing on a street corner next to the highway in his hometown of Mineola, Florida, performing action moves and shadow boxing as—
Yo, shout out to him, man. He's living his piece. He's doing him. But you know how crazy you look like to oncoming traffic? Yo, if I'm driving, I'm getting to work, I'm trying to get some Dunkin' Donuts, I don't know, I'm getting me a coffee, and I see a kid do this, I'm gonna be like, yo, where's this kid's parents? Like, what's going on? Like, is he off some sort of fentanyl? Like, what's happening? Someone save this kid. Hey, as long as he's having fun, that's all that matters.
cars passed by, doing so purely to entertain the public.
I will say, with the drone action, bro, you got it. This is amazing.
Despite an occasional mean-spirited person making fun of him, most of the local residents found his presence to be positive.
Am I tripping? Or in school, the people with disabilities were always cool, bro. Like, if you actually tried, like, talk to people that are in, like, special needs, they're cool as hell, bro. To anyone that's rude to kids with special needs, especially in person, don't be a loser, bro.
Eventually dubbing Ray the Mineola superhero. Overall, it was a positive experience for him. It provided him with an opportunity to express himself, all while becoming a well-known and frankly beloved member of the community. However, this would change in the summer of 2017 when Ray met 26-year-old Tyler McCorvey. This deranged individual, for some reason, had a desire to fight the deaf superhero. According to later witness reports, Tyler was seen mocking Ray's disability before physically assaulting him.
Bro, you are not Lex Luthor, bro. What do you have against Superman? Let's go ahead. Let's log back in. At the end of the day, it's just a deaf kid trying to make people laugh, make people smile. What do you have against someone that just physically can't hear? How much of a villain do you have to be to target a kid that can't hear you?
The incident was described by a woman who personally knew him in an interview with a local news station.
I saw him imitating Ray's moves. In between imitating them, he would hit him for real.
No, that's so evil! No! And when you really think about it, bro, he's deaf. How much free time do you need to have as an adult to go to a random street, see a deaf kid doing some Superman moves, and then smack him every time?
Interestingly, a video of the Mineola superhero and the villain does exist online, being posted to YouTube shortly after the story broke by a man named the Rocky Walsh.
He's yelling at him maybe for being out there doing a Superman thing.
Tyler McCorvey was quickly found and arrested, with many baffled as to
Good. Yo, no, this is a real life villain.
why he had attacked a beloved local hero. It would soon become clear that the man was extremely unstable mentally. After his arrest, he claimed that he was innocent and hadn't hurt anyone, despite there being clear evidence of so. After this defense didn't work, he started having a complete mental breakdown. Police claimed in later statements to news outlets that the man screamed at the top of his lungs, even going as far as to dunk his head into a toilet while claiming he wanted to die at the police.
This gotta be the most obvious way to try to make yourself look like a maniac. I'll never understand when people do crazy, weird ass crimes when they're out of jail, but when they're in jail, because they know they might get sentenced for a long time, they want to act like a maniac. You weren't acting like that when you were out, buddy.
Station. According to WESH News, he was eventually charged with 2 counts of battery and aggravated abuse of a disabled adult.
Wait, it's different if they're disabled? So you get like extra credit in terms of like getting more years if they're disabled? I never knew that.
Despite the upsetting nature of this story, there was a silver lining to it. Ray didn't let the incident stop him from pursuing his hobbies as a superhero, and he went right back to the same street corner soon after to continue his work shadowboxing and entertaining the public. Because of this and the viral nature of the story, Ray became a sensation overnight, with hundreds of local residents showing their support for him on social media.
I ain't gonna lie. One of the most wholesome videos that I be seeing is when people hype up disabled people. To me, I'm like, okay, I really do have faith in humanity. I remember there was this one disabled kid. I think he was in like a football field, and then he was hitting like some TikTok dances, and everyone was cheering him on. I was like, you know what? Society ain't even that cooked for real.
Yeah, a Facebook page was started in his honor, and many passers-by gave him drinks and other gifts while he stood out dancing in the hot sun, with cheerful people honking at him as they passed by. I do want to clear one misconception that I've seen.
Yo, my boy, you gotta put a bucket near you so at least people could donate to you.
About this story online. The majority of news outlets that have reported on this story claimed that Ray was autistic. Just know that according to Ray's mother, this guy isn't autistic.
No, that's evil, bro. Imagine seeing yourself on the news knowing damn well you have no disabilities or anything, and then people are coming up talking about, oh yeah, he's on the spectrum, he's autistic. I would have been heated. I would low-key kind of sue. If I'm them, I would sue the news source.
He's simply deaf. As simple as that could be, I guess. His mother, Angie, claimed that he had developmental issues, but denied that it was the result of autism. Though regardless, he was still a disabled adult who had been unjustly victimized. Thankfully, the community came together to support him. While the criminal in this story isn't actually the cosplayer, I did want to include it. The Mineola superhero story is a nice reminder that sometimes strangers can band together to make a positive impact on someone's life.
And at least he wasn't
These
too hurt.
Came together to support an at-risk individual who they beloved in their town. While it's unclear exactly what the Mineola superhero is up to today, a video has been posted in recent years showing that he's on the same street corner performing his signature move.
That's legendary. That's legendary.
Obese Punisher gets busted.
I think one of my favorite things to see is when big people cosplay. Shout out to big people, bro. Y'all make everything better.
One of the most iconic anti-heroes to come from comics is the Punisher. The Punisher took matters into his own hands, often killing criminals.
Oh no, the other dude is definitely taking things into his own hand as well. He's just consuming it.
Part of his own brand of vigilante justice. However, the fictional character unfortunately served as the inspiration for a potentially deadly crime that took place back in 2017.
What?
Matthew Sterling was a...
That ain't the Punisher, bro. This dude look like a punishment. Are these supposed to be like baby hairs, or is this just like your neck just looking dirty? I genuinely can't tell.
29-year-old man who for some reason developed a hatred of the actor Jason David Frank. Frank being best known for playing the iconic 90s iteration of the Green Power Rangers character. While his logic was a bit unclear, it seems Sterling's rage was enough for him to want to take matters into his own hands. Matthew Sterling hatched a plot to show up to the 2017 Comic-Con event held in Arizona while dressed up as the Punisher, and he wanted to shoot Jason when he was there, the actor being a scheduled speaker at the event. Matthew also planned to kill any police officers who tried to stop him. The overweight Punisher purchased real firearms and an assortment of other weapons. He geared up and...
Let me go ahead and say this immediately. You are not the real Punisher. That is fiction, bro. I don't know if you know this. I don't know if you had parents or friends to tell you this, but I'm gonna let you know right now. Superhero movies are fake. All right, they're depicted in the movies for us to enjoy. That doesn't mean take matters into your own hands, bro. No one is looking at you like you a superhero.
To the convention, arriving on May 25th. The thing is, since realistic guns are worn quite often at cosplays, nobody really gave him much of a second glance. Surveillance footage shows the portly Punisher walking around freely, going up and down the halls without any interruption, though he would eventually draw some attention.
Obviously, it's easy for him to do that because there's like numerous places that he could hide the gun. With this type of build, you could put it under a titty, under a belly. He got a lot of body weight to like conceal the weapon. And I wonder like, what is his getaway gonna be? Cause you know, like when I look at the Punisher, I'm looking at someone that could do parkour. You on the other hand, the fastest you gonna get is if you see some Costco meal discounts. Nothing else.
Up and down the halls without any interruption, though he would eventually draw some attention. The details of how this man was stopped were covered extensively in a lengthy article by the Phoenix New Times. According to this publication, Matthew had avoided numerous security checkpoints and entered the convention with his guns without issue. Officers had become aware of his presence due to a disturbing tip they had received from an acquaintance of him. Apparently, he had been messaging them on social media about plans and had made numerous concerning posts as well. After hearing about this,
Yo, it never made sense to me when people that are about to commit heinous crimes want to report it to police officers, firefighters, and everyone else. It's like, do you want your plan to fail? I mean, no, I'm glad you're doing it, but I'm like, do you want it to make it a little difficult for you?
He's entered the con and tried to find him. They soon would find Matthew and approached him to detain, but they struggled significantly when trying to subdue him. This was due to the man's enormous weight.
Who would have figured? Who would have figured? I will say, when you arrest criminals like this, you need like 3 handcuffs, right? Like you need a handcuff on top of a handcuff on top of a handcuff. Because there's no way his arms, are gonna go behind that build.
Eventually, though, this guy would be brought into custody after he was arrested and questioned.
And do they also get regular sedans or did they get SUVs?
And it was clear that this guy was more mentally deranged than anyone could have predicted. He seemed to believe he was the actual real-life embodiment of the Punisher. The guy was completely nuts, saying that he had actually previously stabbed Jason Frank, the Green Power Ranger, 15 years ago, and wanted to finish the job. And no, he did not.
Hold on, what beef does the Punisher have with the Power Rangers? That's what I don't understand. Like, if you had beef with people that were in the show Punisher, I'd understand. What beef do you got with the Green Ranger?
Stabbed Jason 15 years ago. The guy was cuckoo. In true Punisher fashion, he also stated he believed corrupt police officers needed to be killed and that he was the man to do it. After an investigation, it was also discovered that Matthew Sterling had set a reminder on his cell phone to kill the Power Rangers actor on that day of Comic-Con, setting it as like an alert in his iPhone. This bro had the fucking alarm setups for it. Obviously, this was a lot to take in for the media who was reporting on this case.
Okay.
While the incident was certainly very serious, the bizarre nature of his claims, combined with his unique look, caused some onlookers to find the whole ordeal somewhat funny, including myself. A local news outlet seemed to subtly mock him in their report, making multiple references about the guy's weight.
This guy, as you can see, Matthew Sterling, is a big guy, and we can see him from several angles on—
Oh, okay, you ain't gotta say it like that, all right? Let's keep it professional. At the end of the day, you guys are a news source. We could see him from different angles, and you hit him with the emote. Yo, let's calm down, bro.
that day as he walked through the Phoenix Convention Center for Phoenix Comic-Con this year. That struggle is not captured on any of the center's cameras. You can see Sterling is massive in size.
Yo, we get it, all right? He's a big dude, all right, and he did a horrible thing. But what are with all these insults, bro?
It did take some time for officers to take him into custody.
Jason the Green Ranger himself would soon respond to the incident. In an interview with the NBC News affiliate, he said, "I've already forgiven him. Do I want him to serve jail time and get mental help? Absolutely."
Okay, bro. Come on, bro. Actually, yes. If someone plans on my life, oh, yes, you definitely got to go to jail.
The convention director also made a statement to Facebook claiming that the event was now upping its security measures. This included banning props of any kind in an effort to prevent weapons from sneaking through again.
This
resulted in a significant amount of backlash from attendees in the comments, with many feeling that it was an overreaction.
I don't think it's an overreaction. I think certain objects should not be allowed at comic conventions or anime conventions. Like, if you have a gun, for example, you know, that's crazy. Or at the very least, go to a metal detector and actually search them.
As Jason Frank, I think he would say it's not an overreaction. I think anybody looking at this rationally would say that it was probably a pragmatic choice to ban the fake replicas just for this con. While Sterling initially pled not guilty in court, the proof was undeniable. The real question, though, was this guy culpable considering his mental health? Given the fact that he was clearly mentally ill, his lawyers sought an insanity plea on the basis that he didn't know he was doing anything wrong when perpetrating his deed. In an article by AZ Central, it was revealed that an initial psychiatric evaluation determined Sterling might have had schizophrenia. During the trial, his lawyer, Dwayne Cates, stated, "His psychosis seems to struggle between being Batman and the Punisher."
Dang, you is not Batman. Closer to Fat Man, but don't stop. The belt size you would have to actually be Batman. I definitely believe you could store your gadgets, you know, all over your body, but come on, bro, let's be real. Why do you even want to be Batman? Like, did your parents die when you were a kid? I don't know why anyone would want to be Batman. Batman is literally depressed.
Which is significant because Batman does not kill anyone while the Punisher does. In late 2020, Matthew Sterling was sentenced to serve over 25 years in a mental hospital.
Yes, very much deserved. I think we could all come to the terms, bro. No one is a better Batman than me. I am not hiding in the shadows. I am
where he remains today. In the end, it was fortunate that he hadn't actually harmed anyone and that he was caught before he could do any real damage. The Japanese Joker attack. In 2019, the Joker shocked the world with its dramatic and unique take on the iconic supervillain. Instead of being a criminal mastermind, the humble yet insane Arthur Fleck was portrayed as a mentally ill loner who committed heinous crimes after completely snapping when society pushes him to the brink. Now, you guys remember this with a lot of chatter about would this movie cause real-world violence, and for the most part, that proved not to be the case. But an incident did occur in 2021 that very much mimicked the actions of the supervillain.
What is it?
In October of that year, a then 24-year-old man named Kyoto Hattori boarded a Japanese subway.
Bro, if you go to Japan, Japan is one of the most peaceful places ever. The fact that you would even want to be a Joker in a place like Japan is crazy to me. I'm definitely 100% gonna go back to Japan.
Without warning, he pulled out a knife and began attacking passengers. He then would start a fire using lighter fluid that he had on hand.
What? What is wrong with him? What are you trying to prove? What has happened to you for you to want to be the real life Joker?
Smoke to fill the entire car. Passengers can be seen in videos of the incident running in terror, climbing out of the subway car windows after it had come to a stop. Panic and confusion ensued, with the suspect soon being apprehended by authorities. In the end, he managed to cause minor injuries to 16 people, with one 72-year-old man being hospitalized after it was revealed he was stabbed. The ordeal caused quite the media stir, not just because incidents were rare like this in Japan, but because the guy was dressed like the Joker. Footage later surfaced of Kyoto smoking a cigarette while riding.
You're not him. I will say, I'm gonna give it up to Japanese people because y'all could dress. This is perhaps the best cosplay I've seen.
In the subway train car, seemingly fully LARPing as the Joker. When questioned, he claimed that he idolized the Joker and had wanted to kill as many people as possible. Apparently, in true Arthur Fleck Joker fashion, Kyoto claimed that he had been driven to this violence after hitting a breaking point, with the stress of society and drama in his personal life resulting in him hitting rock bottom.
Let's take this pain that we have on life and let's go on Indeed.com. Let's start a LinkedIn profile and let's apply for a, say it with me, yeah, everybody, say it with me, job. That's gonna make your life much better.
According to an article by the Japanese news company FNN, he had been devastated with grief after his girlfriend of 9 years broke up with
me and you both, twin. Me and you both. You see, it's starting to make much more sense.
Him and married someone else just 6 months later. And after that, he went Joker mode. He had also been transferred to a different department at his job after making a mistake, causing him to become borderline suicidal. When asked in court why he chose to imitate the Joker, he stated this: "I wanted to become like him. The Joker doesn't value human life. He doesn't think anything of hurting people. I thought I couldn't commit murder unless I had that kind of feeling." It's an interesting case study, with the bizarre nature of the crime causing it to gain even more attention. The BBC released a think piece on the situation soon after, analyzing the cultural reasons as to why the event occurred, and commented on Japanese society in general. The article makes a point that several other similar attacks had occurred in the past. One particular incident from 2008 is mentioned when a man drove a truck into a crowd of people and began stabbing them.
It doesn't make sense when your life is terrible and you want to take it out on others. That type of response never made sense to me. I don't think you should take your anger out on yourself as well, but why do you have to bring other people that are happy themselves and hurt other people because you're hurt?
Reasoning for the attack had been similar to Kyoto. He faced pressure in his personal life, seemingly became suicidal, and then took his frustrations out on society. When questioned by the author as to why he dressed up like the Joker, a Japanese criminal psychologist had this to say: "He is a distorted attention seeker. By dressing up as the Joker on Halloween night, he thought he will stand out more. By acting like the Joker and saying he looked up to him, he can get more attention from the people. I don't think he decided to copy the Joker because..."
Yeah, you're gonna get more attention by blowing up a subway. That is one great way to make friends. Everyone, yo, let's go hang out with the dude that is blowing up a subway. I don't know if that's how you gonna get another girl, bro. It's gonna land you a sentence.
Because he saw the movie. Kyoto Hattori was eventually sentenced to serve 23 years in prison, with the incident still remaining a topic of discussion in Japanese media even to this day.
Amazing video. YouTube, let me know which cosplayer you thought was the craziest. Let me know if you guys know anyone with a crazy obsession with these anime characters or these fictional characters or what they would do. What do y'all think about cosplaying in general? Make sure you guys subscribe. Road to 900K. Catch us on Twitch. All that good stuff. Wax for life. Love y'all. Peace.